Coming to the green flag here for round number 3 of the 2023 FBRL Hardee's National Series. Gatlin Downey on pole position alongside Kyle Collins. 2 back-to-back road course races. And we're going to see who can follow up their good days at Dubai and who can redeem themselves from a tough day at Dubai. First time ever the Hardee's National Series has come to Autumn Hill. And green flag is in the air. Through turn number 1, Kyle Collins on the outside of Gatlin Downey, the pole sitter. Collins around the outside trying to see if he can sneak the lead away from pole position. From the outside, he's got it. Kyle Collins with a power move around the outside takes the lead from the pole sitter. And that was not what the rest of the field wanted to see, because now Kyle Collins with a clean racetrack, he can be very dangerous on the road courses. And Gatlin Downey, who last season scored his first career victory at Hawaii, so another driver who is expected to contend on these road courses this season. Although I don't think even he could have expected Kyle Collins to make such an incredible move on the start here. And here's the battle for third between Gradden and Sanders. These two had a really great weekend at Dubai a few weeks ago. And Sanders around the inside, cuts in front of Gradden to take the third place spot from the Australian. Oh, we got trouble in the back. DeLello is in the wall. And oh, goodness gracious, Tristan Grayson, the 7, making his Hardee's National Series debut, just almost clobbered the heck out of the 88 of Zachary DeLello, who has ended up in the wall. Here on lap number 2, goodness gracious, that was close. So here's what happens to Zachary DeLello here. He's behind his teammate Luis Hernandez, who's in the 3 car this weekend, the 69 Sebastian Kukulon. And ooh, Hernandez kind of came to a little bit of a sudden stop there, and DeLello just hit the back of him. Now that corner is very dangerous, especially on the inside line. It is very difficult to get a good line through there, and DeLello, I don't think, saw the 3 car slowing down that much. I don't think he saw that coming. And Tristan Grayson, the 7, just barely missed that. That was quite uncomfortable. Here's Nick Breeding in the 9. Had a surprisingly difficult time in qualifying this weekend, as the current points leader and Daytona winner qualified 31st, and he is trying to slowly, methodically make his way through the field. Breeding currently 26th, about to pass the 44 of Commons for 25th. Now looking for Dunlap Pratt for 23rd. But this was not the start to the weekend Breeding wanted. But this 9 car is pretty quick, so I think they're going to slowly get their way up there. I think their goal at this point is to hope for a top 10, which I think will be very doable. But he definitely has his work cut out for him. Well, here's a battle between 2 Napa Truck Series drivers, Justin Johnson and Jacques Anderson. Jacques Anderson making his Hardee's National Series debut driving for Fitzwater Racing Team, subbing for the suspended Lilithonics. And definitely a very inexperienced driver here that FRT has brought into his 59 car, but I think they're hoping Anderson, as the day goes on, will get faster and faster and get more as he gets more experience here. Same case for Justin Johnson, who hasn't had really much of a Hardee's National Series career himself. He's driving the number 22 Fisher Motorsports car. Quite a big opportunity here. His teammate for the day, Gatlin Downey, is currently up in 2nd place, so I think Johnson's trying to slowly get more used to these Hardee's cars, as he's taking his time for sure. This won't be his only start in this 22 car. He does have another start later in the season. But I think he's just trying to get his confidence up and see if he can slowly work his way through this field. Here's Kemisar in the 84, who's having a pretty solid weekend so far in the 84, as he gets a massive run on the 11 of Malik Nevins, who is driving the 11 for Joe Sirigley Racing this weekend here. That was a dive bomb by Lessard. I don't think Nevins saw that one coming. Luckily, Nevins a longtime veteran. I think he had some good reaction speed there, and I think he's just going to let Lessard go. Although I can't imagine that was a very, I can't imagine that's going to be a very popular move from Nevins' standpoint there. That puts Lessard up to 6th place, and this rookie has had a pretty solid start to the year so far. And they're hoping that as he gets more acclimated to these Hardee's cars, he's going to get faster and faster and faster. This young Canadian's a bit of a project for Spartan, and they're hoping it works out, and so far it kind of is. As, Nevins, I think, had a little bit of an issue getting through the corner there. Here comes Kev Shear in the 0 car looking to take advantage. Kev Shear, we saw he had some really good speed at Dubai, but unfortunately, his pit crew kind of let him down as they kept dropping him places throughout the day. But they're hoping that they can clean that up for this week, because that 0 car looks pretty quick. Nevins trying to fight back against Shear, but Shear, I think, should be able to get this through sheer will. I'm not apologizing for that pun, but Shear gets past him there. Doug Locker on the 35 has been having a really solid weekend himself as well, which is kind of funny because road courses aren't exactly his specialty, but this 35 car has shown some really great speed this weekend, and he's trying to hold off some very quick cars behind him. Here's Noah Hard here, who is logging in some of the fastest laps on the racetrack right now in the 18 car, currently running in 17th. Started a bit lower in the field, kind of like Brady and Rodriguez Racing really kind of just struggled in qualifying. But they seem to have just really good race pace cars, because Hart's been one of the quickest cars despite being in battles. Although he goes a little bit wide there as Bouchard now gets under him in the 82, almost wrecks him. But Bouchard fortunately backed out of that one. That could have been really bad if he didn't back out. But you can see it is a train over here. Everyone's just trying to get some positions here. It's like watching a touring car race. Richard Johnson, the 10, now trying to get underneath the 93 of Ellison. Ooh, Richard slides wide, almost goes into the grass. Here comes Hart to capitalize on the mistake. Hart around the outside here, going to try and force the 10 below. And Hart gets the spot. Bouchard now trying to see if he can take advantage of this. Doesn't seem quite yet, though. Battle for 10th here. Corey Williams got past Lockrow for the 9th place position here. And now Butcher, who I think just made a mistake there, he's going to get swallowed up by Christian Vargas here in the 51. This is for 11th place here. Vargas and Butcher is, Vargas gets him up to the curbs there. Perfectly legal and fair. And now Vargas looking to take 11th place here. But Butcher's fighting him back on the outside. Ooh, Butcher tries to force his way next to the 51. He was all over the quarter panel. Butcher's not going to give this up here. But I think the 51 just gets a better run. So he's going to have to try that again there. As, trouble in the back. Richard Johnson, the 10 is around. And he's back into the pack in the 10 car for Joe Sirigley Racing. Ooh, Nick Breen's been wrecked as well. The 45, the 62 with heavy damage. A massive melee with the Daytona winner, Griffin Lapo McDermott, Richard Johnson, and the caution's been thrown. Did someone flip because the caution's been thrown? They've told everyone to slow down. By FBRL rules, cautions on road courses only come out if a car is flipped over, so I wonder if someone flipped in that incident there. Let's see what happens here. We saw Richard Johnson go into the wall. Just hard racing with Hart there. And oh, he just rebounds back up the track into Goforth, into Griffin Lappel McDermott, which sends the 10 flying into the air. And he collected the 9 in braiding, which blew the engine. And the 45 also got involved somehow. He hit the back of somebody. Henley walks away. But the other cars in the incident do not. Here's another look at it here. You see Richard Johnson, yeah, just squeezes the 18, doesn't work out, and then just bounces off hard off the saber barrier, and Griffin Lappel McDermott and Breeding with nowhere to go. As Ryan Ree hit the back of the 9, he had nowhere to go, and Henley just couldn't react in time. So, caution has come out on the race course for the 10 of Richard Johnson flipping over up in the entrance of turns 1 and 2. And it's not very often we see something like this. A pit stop under caution at a road course here. And that was not what I think Kyle Collins wanted to see. He had stretched out to a 3.3 second lead in the first 11 laps here. And now it's been reset. Everyone's coming down to pit road here. This is a 2-stop race, so there's no advantage to staying out here, in theory. So, see what happens here on pit road. Richard Johnson, the 9 and the 6-2 have all of them pull up to pit road. They've all walked out of their cars, although you have to imagine they're going to be checked for any injuries. Pit stops here. Kyle Collins into his box. Downey into his. Let's see here. Collins. Get the left sides done there. Oh, they're having a little bit of trouble getting the, I think, the jack down the 41. They've lost some time on the pits. They're taking 2, as is everybody else, it looks like. And Downey with the first pit box, and I think they just absolutely crushed it there on the side, on the pit stop there. Downey's going to get the lead back without even having to pass Collins. What a job by the Fisher Motorsports crew. They just gave Downey a reset because he lost the lead on the start, but now they're going to give him another chance. And this time he won't be side by side with them. And the FBRL officials, they're not wasting any time. They're just going to send him right back green. They just came off pit road, by the way. You can see the leaderboard hasn't even updated to tell us that Downey's the leader, even though he is. But we're going right back to the action here. A road course restart. Don't get those very often. Green flag back in the air for Gatlin Downey. But can he hold Kyle Collins off this time on the start? You can see Collins just accelerates really good. That 41's got some hops to it when it gets going here. And Collins now trying to go to the outside to make the same move he tried before. But Downey wisely cut him off there. That was very smart. Downey learned his lesson. You cannot let Collins get that advantage on you. As Collins slips up through the S's here. Here comes Sanders in the 97 up the inside. And now here comes the 16 of Gradden. Collins made a big mistake in the S's and he's getting swallowed up for it. In one lap, Kyle Collins goes from first to fourth. And this 41 team, what was looking to be a breezy day, has now all of a sudden turned into a tornado because they've got some work to do now. Now, Kyle Collins, we saw, lost the lead on pit road, but we also slightly missed this off the camera. Jeff James, who was 5th place when the caution came out. Look at what happens to the 4 car. They get the left side tires done here, but the 4 of Jeff James, he stalls the car. He's having trouble getting the car going. And this was just a disastrous pit stop sequence for Curtis Racing here for the most part. As James, they're trying to get the car refired, but look at all the spots he's losing. He's falling all the way down to the sub-30s here. And for Jeff James, this must have felt like an eternity, and the car basically falls all the way down to last place for finally getting the car refired when the 88 of Zachary DeLello came up near him. And Michael's here. Yeah, they're just trying to get this car fired up, and just look at all the spots they're losing. This is long. This is a 50-second stop on pit road. And finally, James gets the car fired, but he basically just got an ELL penalty without actually being penalized for it. Here comes Collins trying to get one of his positions lost back here as he gets next to Stuart Gratton. Trying to clear him here. Collins got his work cut out for him, but he's started the process here. He gets past Gratton, and now he's got to go after Sanders here. Cameron Lessard and Nevin still battling. They've been basically stuck together for this entire race. Lessard ran a little bit wide there. Kev Shear trying to take advantage here, but taking this inside on this corner is not very smart. Shear tried it, but unfortunately didn't work out for him there. Nice defensive driving by Lessard. Lockrow and Shear side by side through the corners here, going through the S's. Shear trying to fight off Lockrow. Here comes Christian Vargas now into the mix there. That caution reset a good chunk of the field, and now they're trying to take advantage by getting whatever spots they can, because as the tires wear, passing is going to get more tougher. But look at this battle here. Lockrow, Shear, Vargas, all stuck together in a knot, trying to find a way past each other. Shear wins the battle. Lockrow slides up. Here comes Vargas now to take advantage in the 51. Vargas makes a move up the inside. Can he make it stick on the 35? Not quite. Almost gets ran over by Freeman Jr. And Freeman takes some evasive action there. He's actually been having a really quietly solid day in the 77 Spartan Motorsports car. Not the most experienced driver in the world, but doing a pretty solid job here, running in 10th place and beating some very quick cars. Here's Zachary DeLello, who is one lap down in the 88 car. As him and Joshua Michaels, oh, they're going to get together. Michaels gets into the back of the 88 of DeLello and sends him into the guardrail. And DeLello in the wall for the second time in 17 laps. Yikes. Here's another angle of the incident here. Michaels is all over the 88 there, and ooh, DeLello gets a little bit loose entering the corner like that. The 88 stepped out, and Michaels was there, and Michaels just didn't back out of the corner and sends the 88 right into the wall. Here's Dunn the Proud, who has somehow attained some hood damage. I'm not quite sure how he pulled that one off, but despite the damage, he is running in 21st. Well, was 22nd. Okay, 23rd, fine. But Dunn the Proud, who has qualified his way in through Go or Go Home qualifying on speed. And he's trying to get this team a good finish here. Ryan Reed, unfortunately, got some pretty big damage in the wreck. Now, he's still in the race, mind you, but that 24 was damaged while running in the top 25 area. So, LaPrade trying to make up for it here. But he's got his work cut out for him here. By the way, Noah Hart basically just passed two cars in one lap, so that was a nice bit of effort from Noah Hart there. He's this 18 looks pretty quick. It just looks like they just put themselves in a bit of a hole, and they're just going to spend the rest of the day climbing out of it here. Battle for second heating up here. Collins, I think, is starting to get his rhythm back as he is now all over the 97 of Sanders here. And he's going to juke him out here. That was nice by Collins. He went up the inside, made Sanders come up to block, and then cut right back down, which gave him the opening. And look at that 41 power down the straightaways. He goes right past Sanders very cleanly there. That was a very nice sequence there by Collins as he gets right back to second place here. And now the question is, can he get to Gatlin Downey? Passed him once before. Could he do it again? He's got a clean track this time to catch him. Jeff James trying to make up for the time lost on pit road. Now, he was kind of fortunate that this happened under caution, so that the amount of time he spent on pit road would have cost him a whole lap, but fortunately, thanks to the restart, he just had to start at the back of the field. On the lead lap, mind you. But Jeff's trying to work his way through, taking his time. I think they kind of know that a chance at a win's kind of out of reach here, so they're just going to do what they can. By the way, quick update on the cars who are gone. Richard Johnson is retired, obviously. The 62 of Griffin Lapham McDermott and the 9 of Nick Breeding are all out, so no one involved in that melee who got towed to pit road is able to get their cars back out to continue the race there. There's probably going to be some concerns about Richard Johnson's flip, but we'll see how it is post-race. Granted, there was a pretty low-speed flip, all things considered, just a hard hit from the 62 of Griffin Lapham McDermott, which is a shame for Lapham McDermott, by the way, coming off a very great finish at Dubai, finishing in the top 5. A best career finish for him and that team, and they were really hoping to follow it up, but unfortunately was just not able to do it. That's kind of the difficult part of starting in the mid-pack. You're oftentimes more susceptible to incidents here. This is the big battle on track right now. Is this battle for the 15th place position as Tim Fiegel's trying to hold on to a top 15 spot from Eric Rodriguez in a train of cars. And Bouchard all over the back of the 63 of Rodriguez here, literally pushing him. As Bouchard, trying to go around the outside of the 63, can get the run as Pericles sticks his nose underneath them there. And this is a mess. Bouchard trying to hold the 90 off now. He was just about to make a pass, and now he's the one getting passed. And here comes Pericles up the inside, makes the pass. Bouchard loses the spot. Now he's going to potentially lose the spot to Hart and RJ Bishop. That is the cost of mistakes there. With how tight this field can be, you make one mistake, you can lose several spots, and Bouchard is learning that one today. And he's going to have to give up the spot. He's going to fall to 20th in one lap there. As the battle rages on for 15th, Rodriguez is trying to run Fiegel down. And Nick Pericles, who's actually been running some pretty quick laps the last couple laps, he is making a run at Rodriguez and his teammate of Fiegel. Unfortunately, their teammate Major Robinson failed to make the race, so they're just trying to make do with what they can. They're having a pretty solid day so far. We've just hit the halfway point here, as Nick Pericles is, if you can believe it, running top 5 times on the racetrack right now in this 90 car. I don't know what they've done to this Ford Mustang, but they've hooked him up, and he is hauling it right now up to this field. Trying to get past his teammate Tim Fiegel for the position here. But another car has been also running some great laps. That's the 18 of Noah Hart, who's been trying to climb his way through this field, but he's been kind of hitting some setbacks, lost some spots on pit road. He's been having to repass people again, but he gets up to 16th as he breezes right by Nick Pericles without much effort, to be honest, and he is really quick. That 18 just looks really, I mean, you can just see how good that car was on the exit compared to the 87. That thing was just so free through the corner. It just didn't stop flying through it. But still, got his work out for him here, as Fiegel's been also putting in some decent laps as well. Yeah, battle between teammates here as Ryan Butcher and James Ellison are going at it for the 12th place position here. Butcher all over this 93 right now, trying to see if he can find a hole here. And behind them is Alexander Rowe in the 86, who is having a solid day inside the top 15. And here comes Butcher, going to go up the inside of Ellison here. Ellison and Butcher teammates for the second year in a row under circumstances I don't think either of these two could have predicted there, as Butcher slides through to take 12th from the 93. Alexander Rowe in the 86 car, they've had a really tough start to the year. Some people were pegging this team as a potential championship dark horse this year, and so far they've had a tough start. They missed Daytona. They didn't have a good run at Dubai, but they're slowly getting that program together, I think, there. As Ellison now gets a nice run through the S's there. Gets right back towards Butcher. And Butcher now next to the 8. Ellison next to the 8, excuse me. Ellison trying to get the position back that he lost. Ellison trying to improve from what was a difficult year last year, and he didn't really race Butcher that much, to be perfectly honest here. Butcher and him, the rare times they battled, Butcher usually came out on top, but Ellison, I think this year he's got a point to prove, because he is not letting Butcher go. He is going to fight the heck out of his teammate for the spot, and he passes him back there, so Ellison gets the spot back. Nice job. And now Rowe trying to take advantage here around the outside, but can't find the hole. That was a nice little battle there between those two. And it may not be over yet. Butcher is now trying to see if he can make his own run through the S's there. Ooh, Kai DeGarmo in the 38. Ooh, boy, okay. She's being called to pit road as the final pit cycle of the day is about to begin. Looks like the 38 team of Tommy Roberts Racing, they're going to go for an undercut here to try and make up some time. Here comes Downey now to pit road. Will Collins follow? He does. Collins follows down with, and most people are coming down with. Cameron Lessard in the 77 and Ricky Freeman Jr. are going to stay out here. So Spar Motorsport's going to go a little bit off the strategy here. That's quite a risk, though, staying out like this, because you're going to lose some time, potentially, if you stay out too long. But the hope is that you get the fresh tires on the long run, which will help you pass people later. So Lessard stays out, Freeman Jr. stays out, Lockrow stays out, Hard, Rowe, they stay out, Rodriguez as well. Everyone else who pit is in pit road, and you can see Lessard, who was the highest car ahead of who stayed out an extra lap. He is obviously going to fall in behind Gatlin Downey, who will keep the lead in the 12 car. I think Kyle Collins lost time on pit road there, so this is the second time in a row that time was lost there. Let's see. The leaderboard isn't updated, but we're seeing that Downey is 5 seconds ahead of Collins. He was around 3 to 4 seconds at the start of the cycle there. So another great stop from the 12 team to get him out in front ahead of the 41 even further. Here's a look at the pit sequence here. Look what happens here. Ryan Butcher in the 8 car. He has some issues getting the car fired back off there as everyone's coming off their pit stops here, and he's not the only one. Stuart Gratton, the 16, with some issues getting ahead of his stall. The 82 of Daniel Bouchard with issues in his stall. Zachary Fitzwater in the 33 with a problem in his stall. Cody Goforth as well. You can see they're scrambling. Jeff James again with a stall in the 4 car. So the second straight pit cycle that the 4 cars struggled to get launched. You can see Fitzwater finally gets his car rolling, but everyone else is struggling to get out of their boxes. Can't say I've ever seen anything like that one before. Bouchard gets out. Butcher, James, Gratton, they finally get out of their stalls. It took way too long, and Butcher And a lot of cars with some good runs have now fallen out of the top 15 and will now be in the sub-30s area. Zachary DeLello in the 88 car, he is off cycle with damage there. Remember, he's got involved in the incident with Michaels there, and he comes up into the 87 of Tim Fiegel. What on earth? Zachary DeLello just washed up into the 87 of Tim Fiegel, who was running in 12th place, by the way. DeLello, I think he was signaling he was coming to Pier Road, but he just wiped out Fiegel in the process. What on earth was that? So here's what happens to DeLello here. I think DeLello waves to let the 35 in the cars know he's going to pull over to the side. Ooh, Locker coming quick, but you see DeLello, he pulls down to let the guys go, but he just points his car forward and wipes out the 87 of Fiegel. That's the third wreck that DeLello has gone involved in. And man, this has been a tough weekend for this 88 team, and they're coming to Pit Road for the 4th time today. And my goodness, this is going to be a day to forget for Zachary DeLello and Nova Sport, I think. Well, that pit cycle definitely shook things up a little bit there, as Stuart Gran was running in a really nice 4th place today, and unfortunately has now been dropped to 35th. He's going to need to try and run down Zachary Fitzwater, but that has got to be so disheartening for Gran, who was running a really strong race today. And Jeff James in the 4 team, I'm not sure what happened with their car today, but it seems just stopping the car and getting it back going was a way bigger obstacle than it probably should have. And Ryan Butcher, who was having a great battle with James Ellison, unfortunately, now in a hole. Daniel Bouchard, this team did not need that at all. This 82 team, they made Daytona, but got involved in one of the early accidents. They failed to make Dubai. They qualified in for this race, but this team needs owner's points, and they need it quickly. Because after Homestead, things are going to change when the owner's points reset. And you can see there's Downey behind them. Downey, the leader, has caught the back of them, which I think is just showing how easy it is to lose time here. Granted, lap times here are around just over a minute. But Downey, the 12 car, man, he is hauling it right now. And I'm sure he would love to put some of these guys a lap down for maybe a small little ego boost there. But you can see the gap behind. 5.5 seconds between him and Kyle Collins with around 15 laps to go here at Autumn Hill. Downey, man, I tell you what, that loss of the lead on the start of the race definitely undersold how good this 12 car is. Now, the concern that may happen is there's some quick cars in front of him, so Downey could lose some time trying to lap these guys down. But we shall see here. But 5.5 seconds, that's a lot of time for Collins to have to make up in such a short amount of time. He just lost time too, 5.5 to 5.67. So Downey, he's on it. That 12 car is very, very quick. And Kyle Collins, I think for a little while there we thought that once he got the lead he was going to be gone, but I think it goes to show that perhaps Downey was just taking it easy and Collins was the one that was hard charging to keep the lead there. Makes you wonder how things would have gone if the caution had not come out. Lane Sanders in 3rd place here. Another strong run for this 97 car. Looking for what I would assume would be his 3rd top 10 in the first 3 races of the season, which is quite impressive for him, especially in comparison to his teammates who have been struggling in their Turner cars. Kev Shear in 4th place here. Looks like the pit stops weren't as hazardous to him this time, as he's currently running in 4th place. Cameron Lessard in the 84 with a really strong day today in 5th as well. He's doing a great job. This young rookie's been pretty impressive. Christian Vargas in 6th place there. He's been finishing 9th and 9th the last 2 races. Now looking for a potential 6th here. This 51 team has been really doing pretty good so far. Pretty consistent. And that's what you want out of a first-year team / manufacturer, as this is Mercedes' first year in the Hardee Series. Stability is what you want when you begin a program like this. Ricky Freeman Jr. in the 77 for Spar Motorsports, doing a great job as well. I have to imagine they must have brought over the setups that Sirigley... Yes, I'm calling him Sirigley. The setups that Sirigley brought over to this team, and it's been helping this 77 team out very well. Corey Williams in the 14. Another really solid run on the road course here. Gonna make a pass of the 77. Corey Williams has never been really known to be much of a road course racer, but Dubai and today, he's been looking a lot different. He's been improved. He actually has some slight hood damage. Where did he get that? But besides the point, Corey Williams doing really well on the road courses, which is, I don't think what anyone really expected there. Malik Nevins in the 11. Been running a solid day inside the top 10. And how about Nick Pericles in the 90? Granted, kind of capitalizes on the guys struggling on pit road. But this 90's been really spiffy, really quick. And he's now looking for a 9th place from Nevins if he can get to him. So a really strong day for Spa as a whole. 10 laps to go here at Autumn Hill. Gallon Downey is your leader by 5.4 seconds here, as Kyle Collins has not been able to really make up the gap that he's been needing to make up here. So Downey right now is just kind of cruising. Kyle Collins in 2nd place, trying to run what laps he can to catch these guys, but this has been the Gatlin Downey show since the caution came out. This 12 team has been on it. Looking up through the back of the field here. Here's Goforth, Henley, and Reed. Remember, they got involved in the lap 10-11 crash with Richard Johnson. And it's kind of turned their days upside down, as they've been struggling here to keep up the pace. But unfortunate, but on the bright side, at least they're going to, barring anything drastic, finish the race, which was more than what can be said for some other cars. So in terms of getting owner's points settled in, this is definitely the best, making the best out of a terrible situation here. How about this? Daniel Voiles in the number 60 for Jeff James Incorporated. You know, we're talking about owner's points and how you gotta get, you need owner's points to try and, lock yourself in for some races here. Jeff James Incorporated has basically been getting in these races by Provo and Provisional, I should say. And they're running really good. 17th, ahead of Alexander Rowe and Horizon Group. And Voiles is, I think, he's just been kind of surviving. He's just been running his laps, taking his time, and he's on track for a 17th potentially here if he can hold off Rowe. And that's a very difficult situation for him to be in, because he's got some really quick cars behind him to fight, but he's doing it. This is definitely the best run I think this team has had so far in the Hardee's National Series up to this point. And they gotta be feeling pretty good about it. Another team that's another surprise today of just taking your time and just logging laps. That's the 69 of Sebastian Kukulon. Nice. And he's been they've made some changes at this team. They've gone full SC Motorsports support starting at Dubai, and you can, I think, see that how much that's changed this team a bit here in such a short amount of time. Running in the top 15. Granted, they've had some, like I said, a lot of these guys have gotten some help from people struggling on pit road, but still, this is a really solid run. And Kukulon's known for getting some great finishes out of some pretty rough equipment, if last year was any indication. If you want to go back even further, obviously done the prep running in the top 20 there. There's Zachary Dillow, by the way. He's gotten the car partially repaired and back out there. Which, you gotta give Delel and the 88 team credit. They're not giving up. But how about this? Jacques Anderson, the 59 as well, 23rd. Fitzwater Racing Team's best finish last year in the Hardee's National Series was 25th. And Anderson, this rookie in his debut, driving a car that has struggled for pace. He's doing great, running almost in the top half of the field. And you have to imagine this may turn some eyes towards him because, again, he's a rookie in the Truck Series. He's brand new. Not a lot of experience, but he's really showing something here. And you have to imagine the Fisher Motorsports team, they must be really impressed by what they're seeing right now, even though that is not their car. Speaking of Fisher, there's Justin Johnson, the 22, running in 24th. He's been getting better throughout the day, similar to Anderson. And Callie DeGarmo running in the top 25. Remember, she was the first car to pit, so she's going to have older tires than everyone else, but still running in the top 25 herself, so pretty solid for Tommy Roberts Racing if they can hold on to this, though. And I think I jinxed it. Callie DeGarmo to pit road, being told they did not put enough fuel in the car. Dang. Well, that's a shame for DeGarmo. She was looking like a poise for a top 25 and only her third race for a team that has struggled for pace throughout the last couple of seasons here. And they're not going to get the finish they wanted there. That's a shame, but you have to imagine, you know, this is good improvement shown from DeGarmo. After last week wasn't very, well, Dubai 2 weeks ago wasn't a very good race for her, but showed some pretty good improvement this week at least. 2 laps to go here. Coming to the white flag. Gatlin Downey, Ryan Butcher going at it here. Butcher trying to keep the 12 behind him here, which is kind of helping Collins, as Collins has actually been sort of making grounds on the 12, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Coming to the white flag here. Downey goes by Butcher. I think Butcher accepted that this was just inevitable. In that respect, didn't want to mess with Downey too much. But the white flag is out here at Autumn Hill. And it's been the Gatlin Downey show since the caution flag, as you said earlier. Collins has tried what he can to catch him, but it is clear that this 12 team was the best car and perhaps best driver of the day today, so just gotta get through the S's cleanly here. Don't need to do anything drastic. Collins, you know, is trying as hard as he can, but 4.3 seconds in a lap is just not going to happen. So, unfortunately for Ryan Butcher, he'll finish a lap down, which is not, I think, what that team deserved today. But coming through the final corners here, Gatlin, Downey, and Fisher Motorsports coming through the final corner. A nice, solid, safe day. And a nice, solid, safe win for Gatlin Downey. He wins his second career Hardee's National Series race, and Fisher Motorsports scores their first win of the year. Kyle Collins finishes second place. Another strong run for him, another second place. Sanders with a third. Kev Shear, fourth place. Cameron Lassard comes across to finish fifth. A nice, great day from this rookie. And nice and clean. Christian Vargas finishes sixth. Corey Williams, seventh. Ricky Freeman Jr. with a great day finishes 8th place for this young driver, so good job to him. Spire Motorsports with a great day from their rookies, I have to say. Nick Pericles finishes in 9th for Spa. I think that may be the first top 10 Spa has gotten in the last 2 seasons, I believe. Maybe their first top 10 ever. But a great run from Nick Pericles. Gets a 9th place for the team. And Malik Nevins finishes in 11th for Joseph Sarigli Racing. A lone positive, that is what it was, a difficult day for that team.